Fallout New Vegas Revengance 5 is a game created by Obsidian Entertainment and those other guys who made Fallout Shelter. In this masterpiece, you must traverse the Mojave in a seriously stylish and slightly comedic fashion, like you're straight out of JoJo's bizarre aneurysmic Adventure Time. Now, sit back and allow me to explain this wonderfully apocalyptic wonderland, known as the Nuclear Mojave, and why you should experience the true magic of this world-class, fine-ass game for yourself.
I got spurs that jingle jangle.
You wake up in the year 2010 next to a man named Doc Mitchell, who proceeds to tell you that you are finally awake. He goes on to tell you that your head was full of lead, kind of like a certain someone who also woke up with lead inside his head. He then hands you a mystical mirror that morphs your face. Oh god. We're then prompted to arrange our attributes with classic titles, such as Wet Noodle, Sniper Hawk, and Walking Dead. After making ourselves the luckiest man on earth, we're asked a series of philosophical questions, after which the good doctor proceeds to tell us Now, with Doc's interrogation out of the way, we pick up our totally vanilla weaponry and head to Goodsprings Saloon for a stiff pint. Upon entering the salty spittoon, we encounter the fabled female Homo sapien, who offers to show us how to be American, and in true gamer fashion, we avoid her. After exiting the saloon, we turn to our right to see quite a sight as a man by the name of Easy Pete. After inquiring about the people that attacked us, Pete goes on to tell you that the NCR is based, and that the Little Caesars Pizza Legion are mid. Concluding our conversation, we head on over to the Goodsprings General Store, and proceed to rob them blind. Now, with clothing on our back, dual machine guns in hand, stolen goods, and the blessing of Sweetie Pete in our hearts, we hit the road to find the well-dressed bendejo that reincarnated us into another world, featuring Victor. After 30 whole seconds of patrolling the Mojave, we encounter the Powder Gangers, a completely neutral faction due to skipping the tutorial, and all of her problems. 10 minutes into traveling the Serengeti, we find ourselves in the small town of Prim, guarded by NCR Trooper Numeral Uno, who goes on to say that the town is under the control of the miscreants who are imprisoned for tax evasion. It's up to our hero John Vegas, a devout member of the IRS, to save both the town of Prim and the convicts from the pain of living. Anywho, moseying on over this direction, where we utilize diplomacy on everything inside, except Beagle, because he's dead on the inside. Hey. Bugle tries to pity us into getting a new sheriff for Prim, but like the bizarre adventurer we are, we hit the road. 15 minutes after leaving Prim, we find ourselves in Niption, a town that is currently undergoing a governmental change due to the cult leader Windows Vista, who wants to spread his philosophy of PC over console. Unfortunately, he's a bit too wild for this commentary documentary. Let us skedaddle. After attempting to leave Niption in a peaceful and quiet manner, we run into what I call the human version of an uncooked hot dog. We run into what I call the human version of an uncooked hot dog. Fuck. We run into what I call the human version of an uncooked hot dog, Weenie Hut Swanik, who proceeds to default dance in our face over the fact that he won a fake lottery.
Yeah! Who won the lottery? I did!
Seems like a normal guy. Shortly thereafter, we encounter the Viper Gunslinger. Shortly thereafter, we continue our journey through the Egyptian Mojave to find the unnaturally suave Benny Brando and defeat him with the power of our gun stand.
Had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip.
Hey guys, D-Bastion here. Welcome to part 3, the critically acclaimed better season than 2. We currently find ourselves in the trailer park section of Fallout New World at War 3, called Novak, where we seem to be on the trail of that dastardly devil, Benny Blueball Bendito, and his squadron of Khan's Deluxe Club bologna sandwiches. What the fuck? As I enter the valley of the big purple dinosaur, we make our way to the top of the big dino to find this lovely gentleman. We talk to our giddy guardsman, to which he explains that his wife was murdered. Seems kind of personal, not sure why you're telling me. To help our crazy companion with his mission for revenge, we head over to Dino D's Nuts. We head over to Dino D's Nuts Garden to insult the trailer park straight to the face of Jenny Crawford. To my surprise, insulting the town was actually a hidden Easter egg, where Jenny explains that Boone never had a wife in the first place. I kid you. We simply insult the town and then leave. As we barge into the room of this unsuspecting pedestrian, he goes on to tell us that Boone's wife was a complete bitch, obviously a member of the patriarchy. Also, he knows Benny Mara. But before we mosey on over to the Red Rocket Repcon building to defeat the zombie horde, we must first talk with Jenna out in the middle of nowhere for a small chat. Holy Jesus God, she lost her fucking head. We return to the Swole Spinosaur to ask Boombastic about his plans for the future, to which he responds with menacing silence. So we murder him. No witnesses. Just goofing. After parting ways with Boondock Saint, we mosey ourselves over to exterminate the local wildlife. 0.1 seconds after entering the building, we're yelled at by a magical box telling us that our skin is smooth and that we must put lotion on our skin or we'll get the hose again. After speedrunning through the facility disposing of the local wildlife, we come face to face with Chris Hoover Dam, who seems to have a small case of brain damage. Further in the compound, we're met with Jason Bright, or as I like to call him, Jason Blight, due to his toxicity. He speculates that demons are near, possibly crying, he sneered. In the month of May, he revered. He directs us underground to deal with all of the hellhounds, when suddenly, a ghoulish ghoul named Harold Harlow appears from above to tell us his sense of direction is shit. With ammunition low and copium stores depleted, he proceeds to tell us that he is, in fact, trapped, and that Jason Blight is a deranged lunatic that's been hogging all of the copium reserves for himself. And possibly Chris Hoover, but I'm pretty sure that's just brain damage. Concluding our Haribo business, we dive deeper into the compound to find that the demons are nothing more than mutants with imaginary friends. Ben and Jake ain't looking too good these days. Ignoring Davey, we converse with the true mastermind, the Magic Skull Conch. As it turns out, the Magic Skull Conch wanted a mass shipment of stealth boys to sell on the black market. Clever girl. After a peaceful conversation about helping both parties get what they want, we proceed 3 seconds east to begin the slaughter. They're just sleeping, don't worry. After giving the bad news to Harry Lando about his goth ghoul friend dying from Bang energy overdose, we then head back to Davey the Human and explain that his entire mission was a huge waste of time. After agreeing to leave the facility in search of stealth, Harley Davidson then stops to ponder a moment when he realizes that I slaughtered his entire team. He is now sad.
Antler is sad. We night can go now, but there is fewer than when we came here.
After telling Jason Voorhees the good news, we then proceed to a different playthrough to watch another clinically insane individual similar to myself complete this side quest. Continuing our story, we venture east-western. After a full minute of fair gameplay, we encounter a man of science. Speaking in third person, Nomando Chupacabra goes on to say that he has brain damage. But, you know, real brain damage, not like Chris. He then proceeds to tell us his greatest fear, that a group of commie ghosts will fly up on a rocket ship and paint the moon pink. That's not even a joke. After trekking back to interrogate Virgil Mendez, we then time skip over to Boulder City. Speaking to the local law enforcement, we find out that the Great Bologna Sandwiches are back at it again. With no regard for personal safety, we venture into the belly of the beast to confront the cons. The Great Bologna General tells us that Benny stole our Star Platinum chip and that Benny is not actually a nice guy. The carnivorous con man goes on to say that Benny is a big shot with big boy money and a big casino in Big Vegas. After passing Jessup's speech check with flying colors, the hostages were set free, and then I was free to go outside for a walk. Before the commercial break, we were in the middle of convincing the lengthy lieutenant to disobey his orders and let the Bologna gang go free. We then travel 20 seconds and run into everyone's favorite shady cyborg, Victor, who informs us that Big Boy Benny is, and I quote, all hat and no cattle.
I wouldn't worry about him. He looks all hat and no cattle, if you ask me.
Ensuring us that we, as the youth would say, totally got this fam. We now enter part 4 of our New World's journey going from Mojave to riches. As we approach the New Vegas Strip,
Had enough?
this section is important, by the way, because the New Vegas Strip is New Vegas. All the lights, the hustle and bustle of the townsfolk, the stench of corruption and capitalism. But before we enter the smog sanctuary of the Vegas Bacon Strip, we must first have a detailed conversation with this well-dressed loan shark. He goes on to say that his former boss of the Tops Casino framed and fired him for being too dripped out in the workplace. Then, after sneaking past security, with the clap of our ass cheeks not alerting the guards, we can now enjoy the lights, camera, camera and action of the New Vegas Strip.
Howdy, partner. Just rolling along on my spur. Consider me your personal welcome wagon.
Victor, buddy, you don't sound too good.
Human elimination commencing.
Okay, well, After escaping the Victor hive mind, we enter the Lucky 38 building. I felt a cold chill run down my spine, walking through the empty room with nothing but the sound of my footsteps and a low, ominous undertone for background noise. We make our way into the elevator heading for the penthouse suite, where we find a fully functional AI waifu for life named Jane, who tells me that I am a big, strong man and that she appreciates my donation. Moving past twitch.tv/JaneBot, we head down the stairs to finally meet the swollest of houses, the largest of lodgings, the most magnanimous of misters, Mr. House!
Coming.
After the house honcho explains that he is both the alpha and the sigma, and that you too can become a winner in just 3 easy steps, and they are not doing cardio, learning to drop ship for Mr. House, and stealing money from the homeless. All of these courses set at an affordable price of 5,000 bottle caps per month. What a steal. After realizing that guru courses are a scam, we venture off to find the plutonium chip that was politely borrowed from us by Benny Bangkok. Traveling further into the strip, passing Victor number 420, we make our way into the Tops Casino. We inform Swank Boggendov about absolutely everything, and for some reason, he believes us. Okay then, after acquiring the key to the Great Bendejo suite, we definitely walk straight to his room and not the slot machines nearby.
Fuck Christmas! Jesus motherfucker! Next door! Next door! Fuck you!
We use our key to open the door ahead, a truly deep metaphor shrouded in mythology. We FBI open up to finally be face to face with the bastard. Okay, so, Benny, right? You may have heard of this guy. Tall, dark, handsome, may have shot us, but who knows? Well, for some reason, when I entered his room, he wasn't there. I waited for hours, with no luck. He's supposed to be there. He's not. I don't know what happened. We will continue from here. We are now face to face with the bastarde himself. The same bastarde that slightly inconvenienced us by shooting us in the face.
What in the goddamn?
After a swift reminder, we have a civilized conversation where we learn the horrifying truth that Benny was actually the imposter the entire time. After threatening Ben Bilzerian on the whereabouts of the adamantium chip, we give him the gun equivalent of a strongly worded letter, telling him that only pussies use riot shields.
Riot shield! Oh, riot shield! I'm a pussy that use riot shield!
It's finally over. This long and strenuous journey full of hardships and trials of the soul. But I've done it. I can now end this bizarre adventure for good. Hold on. What's this? I'm only halfway through.